Ready? So everybody pay attention. Look to the front and follow along, correcting. Okay? Which of the following is a finite set? Finite means it stops, right? There's no infinity there. So either going to the negatives or positives, or if you just think about what makes that set, it should have a finite number. It should actually have a number of elements in there. Set of all odd whole numbers, that's not it, right? It just keeps going to infinity. All even prime numbers, that is finite. There's only one, right? The number 2. Okay, so this one is it. All positive real numbers keeps going for infinity. Set of all negative integers, it goes to negative infinity. It never stops. So that's it. Okay, shading. The union of A or B. So it's basically, in this case, it would just be shading A, B like that. In this case, it would just be shading both sets like that. In this case, it would just be shading. You basically shade A, and in so doing, you're also shading B, right? So that's what the union is. It's basically everything except for the outliers of those two sets, right? Intersection, there's nothing here, no overlap, so you don't do anything there. Here is just that. Here's just that. Right? Because if you think about it, what do they share in common? What does A and B have in common here? All of B. Okay? Not B, to be or not to be. Right? So you don't want B, but everything else is is part of it. So you kind of just shade everything around B. Okay, all the universal, everything, but not B. Same here. You do not shade B. Everything else goes. Okay? And over here, you're shading everything around B. So basically, don't include B. That's the message here. Okay, so basically, you get 1.5, like you get half a mark for each correct shading. Half a mark for each correct diagram. A union B not, those are the outliers, right? So you basically shade everything except for what's in those two sets. Okay, same here. Okay, same here. Just shade like this. Right? What about the intersection? Not the intersection. What is think about it this way. What is the intersection between these two? Nothing. So what is not nothing? Everything. There's a lot of logic in this unit. Logic. You got to kind of think it through. Yes, if you're in computer science, right? You know all about it. And here, this is the and. We don't want that. So everything except for that center. Everything except for the center. Okay. Here, what's the intersection between these two? It's B, right? That's the intersection. You can go back to B. Go back to B. What is the intersection? Intersection is this. You don't want that. So it's everything except for B. Okay? So this page is worth 8.5. This page with the multiple choice and 7.5 that are involved in those diagrams, 8.5. So mark that. Back page. Use the following to answer the questions. Use proper notation where applicable. If it says A and you have the sets listed, it's not N of A, it's just A. So you basically just list everything that's in A. So I'm going to go moose, dog, cat, wolf, right? These here and ostrich, penguin. That's it. It doesn't ask for number of, it's actually the elements. You got to list them. A and B, that's the intersection. It wants the elements themselves. Ostrich, penguin. Okay, there we go. You get a mark for each. Actually, sorry, for these ones where you have to write, it's 1.5. And what's the half for? It's those squiggly brackets. So if you don't have them, take off half a mark. As long as they look somewhat squiggly, you're fine. Okay. Now, it's the number of elements. Okay, number of elements. So n is number of elements of the union. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. This one is tricky. Let's come back to this one. We'll come back to it in a bit. That one I didn't teach you yet, so. Okay, union. What is this one? The outliers? 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll come back to this one. Oh, is yours, do you have a double? Oh, no. I caught it. This one has an N, this one does not have an N. Okay? So we want the actual outliers, so we're just going to go dolphin, shark, whale, seal. Okay? There we go. And then here we want the union, so you want everything in both sets combined. Okay, so I'm just going to list them all. Moose, dog, cat, wolf, ostrich, penguin, duck, swan, eagle. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I already know that there's 9 in there because of that answer up there. So that's what I want there. So now let's do the tricky ones, these ones here. Union means include everything that both sets have, right? Just include everything, but don't double count. So what's not A? Not A is all of that, right? So you want to combine this with not B. Okay, so let's do this slowly. Slowly, watch me again. How many elements are there in not A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Not B, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not going to count these ones because we already did them earlier. Okay, so this would be 7 plus 4. That's 11. Bro, right? What's that all about? Okay, let's do a thing here. You're on. This is the exam. You're like, I can't envision this. I can't envision this. Okay, here, watch this. Let's come up with not A. Let's write it out. Let's actually do that. You're gonna go duck, swan, eagle, dolphin, shark, whale, seal. I'm cheating somewhat, right? You can tell that I'm cheating somewhat. Not B, what is not B? Moose. I would encourage you, moose, dog, cat, wolf, and then it's dolphin, shark, whale, seal. Dolphin, shark, whale, seal. These are my outliers. If I asked you how many are in the union, if I were to unite this, you wouldn't want to double count these, right? So you basically would want to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? So do this. If all else fails, do that. But it's 11. What's the intersection between these two sets? Which ones do they have in common? See this? These would be overlapping, right? If you were to make these and you want the intersection, the overlap, it's these 4 elements. So in this case, it would be 4 elements. I'll just tell myself why is that? It's the dolphin, the shark, the whale, and the seal. Okay? Sorry, you can't see that. Where's the camera? Okay? So these 4 are at the intersection of those 2 sets. So sometimes it's better to write them out. Actually, what I did up here, write them out, and you can see what is in common. That would be the intersection. What's the union? And you count every single one, but don't double count, right? If you already counted the elements before, don't count them again. That's the union. Intersection, you're like, get rid of everything. There's 4 in common. Okay, so if it asked you for the actual elements, you would list them. If it wants the number of, you just give me 4. Okay, does that make some sense? A bunch of nonsense. I have to say, those are not very common. The ones I just did. But sometimes they try to trick you. So I just want you to be prepared for that. Yeah. Good? Okay, so we're going to make subsets of A. So anything. Okay, so you can just say moose. That's good. Or you can go wolf and cat. So anything that's in A, you just make one. Yeah. You added like an element that, oh, you gave it a letter? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem at all. Yeah. What's that? Yes. Yes, you used ostrich, penguin. Yes, because it's part of A. Yes. B, I don't know, I'm just going to go eagle. Or you could use ostrich, penguin, right? Sure. Because it's part of B still. Okay. A and B are called joint. Mutually exclusive sets would not be correct because then they would be, right? Disjoint mutually exclusive is not applicable. The set formed by the intersection between the red cards and the black cards is called an, I should have put that, empty set or a null set. Did that throw you off? But you know you're getting 100, right? So don't worry about it too much. Question? I know what I should have done is this, okay? I should have made this question 5, nothing to do with the previous question. So I'm just calling, like, you remember the diagram, the red cards and the black cards, they don't have anything in common. So the intersection of those 2 sets is null, like there's nothing in there. That's what I was trying to do. I should have been calling it 5. I will fix it right after you leave today. So if you want to take the course again next year, it's going to be fixed.